Good evening and welcome to Stone Soup Poetry. Sorry for the late start. We had some issues with the links. That was my fault, not anyone else's. No one else's. Buck stops here. I suck, yada, yada. But never you despair. We're going to have a feature tonight, and the feature is Randy Barish from Parts Unknown. Well, actually now in Massachusetts. He's divided his time over the years from between Florida and Massachusetts, moving up here for good. He has a brand new poetry collection out tonight, which he'll be reading from. First, we're going to get a couple of open micers for tonight. We're going to first welcome up, to start off, Miss Jackie Chow.
Okay, I turned my video off so my sound would be better. So I'm publishing a second collection of poetry, and it's tentatively called Songs of Sidewalks and Balconies. And this short poem is going to be in it. It's called The Moon Seen from My Balcony. The moon wears a frown behind a veil of clouds. Her face is no warm ivory in its gibbous face, glowering at me with more wrath than me gazing at her. She houses only shadows of a rabbit, a goddess, and is no place to inhabit, covered with moon dust. That's one. And then I'm going to read a slightly longer piece, which is a sonnet, which will also be in the book. I have to find it, and it takes about a second. Okay. This is called When Asked About My Life's Purpose. With dung-colored lenses, I view a world where the roses are not pretty at all. The stems that hold their heads twisted and twirled, their partly blemished petals soon to fall. With downcast eyes, I roam the neighborhood, where no one wants to help or be my friend. From far away, they sense my wretched mood. An ear to hear me rant, they would not lend. Alone, I get a pen and write my thoughts. How dark they are, the paper does not mind. Like my delusions, they come out in bouts. The words don't have to be happy or kind. For a few years, I've been making verses. My poems, they've become my life's purpose. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's bring us now to our phone correspondent. Joining us by telephone from Parts Unknown, well, known to her anyway, Miss Nancy Dotson. If she presses *6, we can get started.
No cares in the square. Read free at all-night bookstores. Suits harbor avant-garde fashions. Blue jeans, old fox fur coats.
No.
Fashions. Restaurants exude pleasant spells and display fine gardens. Vote for equal rights and decent government. Sign here. Look, carpets, license plates from everywhere. A girl on drugs. I kiss you again. I laugh in your face. She disappears. Musical performances given freely. One hears a great new voice. The price of ice cream and frozen yogurt is up, but the taste is fantastic and the life is long. Take a walk along the Charles. Go to sleep in a park. Almost never a murder, but plenty of robberies. Silver is stolen, and most of all, bicycles. Competitions is met by earning degrees. Books are in demand secondhand, except for ones at the top. Jobs are hard to find. Eccentric behavior is in vogue. I stumble because I know.
Bravo, Nancy, and thank you very much. And up next, we're gonna give it to the one who definitely won the most spirited award in high school superlative awards season. Let's welcome up Mr. Bill Lewis. And he automatically knew who I was talking about, of course, because he unmuted himself before I even said his name. Yeah, Bill.
I am cut to the quick. You are quite the wit, my friend. How could I ever think of competing with you in any competition of whatsoever or trying to fool you?
Oh, for fuck's sake, just get to the poem.
Oh, I am just having a lovely time working with kids. I have class today. Teaching was just wonderful. I am a happy camper. At the same time, I get pissed off and I sometimes yell at people, but usually I quiet down and I yell at the world here with you in poetry so I don't actually upset the people that I'm upset with, so that I can go back to them with a more reasonable attitude and encourage them to do something more useful than they're doing. How's that a nice way of putting politics activism? So anyway, as you know, somebody or another built a great big puppet, and it is a refugee, and they're spending millions of dollars to send her around the country and all this stuff. And I am not a happy camper. $3 million to send a puppet to America, 1 million to sail a boat to a gadget, 10 for a conference. Unfortunately, there was none left for the migrants. Migrants are tough. They know how to sleep on the streets. Seattle will show them how to put up tents. Washington, D.C. will teach them to beg. Los Angeles will teach them to steal. And Boston will teach them to blame others. So, yeah, I'm kind of pissed off, but now I complain to you, and I'm going to let that go down. And now I am going to talk about my cheap ass plastic plaque. Much more relaxing. La, 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 la. A cheap ass plastic plaque, 1 of 20 for the quarter. Is this really what you think that motivates us engineers? A check for $1,000 and the recognition of our peers? Measly $1,000. I can make that on my own. And I have a dozen plaques from talents I have honed. The recognition of my peers, however, is something that I cherish. The money spent, the plaque remains, my memories shall not perish. I love the people that I worked with. I love what we created. And now I can go unto my rest. My needs have all been sated. And that is in honor of a plaque, a quarterly plaque. Wait, I got to show it to you. There it is. My quarterly plaque, which you can barely see because I've turned off the stupid camera in a weird way, and with background anyway, I have to show it off because it is a stupid little plaque, and I'm so proud that I got awarded this, not because it's a plaque, but because my friends, we did great shit together. We made things happen, and therefore I'm really proud of this. It's just a silly award, and yet the people behind it, man, woohoo! Okay, Chad, it is back to you.
Thank you, Bill. Up next on the open mic, Norma, you can let me know when you want to read when the time comes. But for now, before that, we can ask Annette Tarpley with her. She'll talk about her Facebook group and what other projects she's working on. She is busy, the one person probably busier than I am on Facebook. Take it away.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, we're up to 92K now, so passion of poetry. I'm working on lots of different projects. I have a big idea that I think won't happen, but a way to promote poetry on a huge level outside of our Facebook world. So I have a poem called A Freed Butterfly. Gnawing dreams relentlessly, invade your mind. The reels of vivid images, inciting emotions that once were dormant. Perhaps revisiting a love gone wrong, exploring the crevices of the relationship, discovering new insights, formerly hidden from you, recalling the happier times as you replay the sweet memories and relive precious moments of a love that was raw and untainted by the complexities of life. Your dreams now revealing solutions to problems that at the time contained no answers. The what ifs now questions that shall remain unanswered. For there is no turning back the sands of time, reliving wrong choices that pave your journey in life, yet you have the innate knowledge that those decisions were monumental in your evolution for change. They were the map that altered your course as you embrace the revelations that would lead you to your life of contentment, dreams and imaginings that would harbor the epiphanies needed to direct you on your path of enlightenment, where the creation of a new and better you, once entangled in a constraining cocoon, emerged as a freed butterfly, ever changing, ever beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Annette. Norma, if you're interested in reading a poem tonight, you are more than welcome to. And you'll have to unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm really just a guest.
Okay, not a problem. We're very happy to have you. And I'll see if Ethan wants to play a little bit tonight. Then we'll close out and go to our man of the hour, the man with the power. But Ethan, if you're interested in playing the Pulse of Stone Soup, Ethan Mackler, please let me know. And I have to take that as a no. Oh, no spot for me tonight. I see that in the chat. Okay. Well, in that case, we are going to go to the main feature, and I get to read the boilerplate tonight for our special guest. And this is someone who I've known for several years. I had the pleasure of him featuring, performing on the open mic at Stone Soup. This is, I am informed by him, is his first feature in any location ever. So we're honored to be the first, as we have been for many a poet. Randy Barish grew up in Sharon, Mass, and was raised by parents who were musicians. He graduated UMass Amherst with a BA in journalism English in 1978. He discovered Nichiren Buddhism in 1989, and this new awareness gave him a rekindled interest in poetry. A regular at Stone Soup in the early 2000s, his poem My River Leth was adapted into Beyond the Lake, an award-winning short film by Simon Constantine in 2019. His first collection of poetry, Garden of the Mind, was published this summer by Wilderness House Press. And I've also been informed that he has more books coming out, so we're going to be excited about that. Hopefully Wilderness will be covering him. They're a good friend to poets of all walks of life. And with that, I'm going to ask you to put your hands together 20 to 30 times as I repost the live feed on his own page. Give it up for Mr. Randy Barish.
I have to hold my phone.
And now you'll have to unmute yourself, sir. There
All
you
right,
go.
I'm unmuted. Okay. Well, I did prepare something, so it's very organized here. So I timed myself and hit the right, but 25 minutes, right? 25 minutes.
That should work.
Okay, all right. I want to say that the style of poetry featured in my new book, and a future one started when I moved to Miami in 1991, where the moonlit nights there had a quality that filled me with a deep sense of wonder and opened me to enchanted inner realms. I would try to write and capture the feelings often in the middle of the night. Other poems were inspired by various dreams and visions. Here are some selections from the new book. It's organized in chapters by subject. The first is called Jasmine Night. This one is Jasmine Night. Through velvet clouds of the serpentine evening, we walk on rays of starlight. The cloudy patterns of winter solstice draws us on neath Orion's guiding arms. Precious jasmine scent, sweet intoxication of the night beneath the malachite sky. The Sassanid monarch of the midnight heavens, wearing the golden crown of the moon, watches silently over flickering stars and fleecy clouds. The grass swaying to the magical scent of this jasmine night. So that's that one. The next one I'm going to read to you is something called Of Distant Dreams. Of distant dreams that call in the silence of dusk, their resonance in tropic humidity, calling to me through the jacaranda and palm, past the swirling Spanish moss, their melodies resounding like bells in the lilac evening, and the chorus of crickets that drifts out to a harvest moon sky. Oh, distant dreams that calm my sadness and wrap me in their warmth on passing ocean breezes, meander through stirring branches of twilight forest to greet my summer desolation, sweeping me to your fabled lands beyond evening's gateways. Okay. Now, the next one was inspired by looking at the moon over a small lake when I lived in Hollywood, one of the places, called Reflections of the Moon Over a Lake. Ancient moon, guardian of truth, your silent smile reaches of midnight across crystal reaches of midnight waters, and in your glowing smile, the secrets of death and time. As sea-blown clouds drift opalescently across these waters, in your eyes, the death of all who've passed into the shades of summer nights, a cloud, a last goodbye before the winds of time, their eyes knowing the silent secret of your smile, they join in on the chorus of a million nights and beckon me to join them in a nocturnal eyes of silence. Let the crickets call and frog symphony carry me to your eternal truth. Smiling empress of night, of silence, of death, sweep me from the violence of these waters to passages of time, away from the stormy battles of my destiny. Summer moon, bringer of midnight winds, scents of jasmine that sway the branches of mystical trees, like the winds that pull me from this place of midnight to this moment of mystery I share with thee, silver Luna. Your ascent across the skies reflected in the glassy depths of this lake of dreams, neath the opal clouds, drifting their sad farewell to this world I leave behind. So that one. And I took a walk in the woods, and this, as Chad mentioned, this got the attention of a British cinematographer, included an excerpt of it in his film Beyond the Lake, which is shown in international films last summer, called My River Lethe. Let's see. My River Lethe. A forest pathway I follow through a distant misty hollow, to a far place where thoughts unwind, that's buried deep within my mind, to the smooth banks of a clear stream in this fair dream within a dream. My river Lethe gently calls, and to her depths my spirit falls. In her sweet waters I forget this life of sorrow and regret. Perhaps this river flowing free will pull me to the endless sea, where Nereids live within the caves, so deep within its swirling waves. In lifetimes past and depths pristine, as sun glints through aquamarine, and there one senses pure delight, as currents dance in pearly light. So to the sea where dolphins play on this river I'll drift away. Okay. Next one. Some of the poems I've written were inspired by Luke Walks Under the Stars. So that's in my universe section of the book. Okay. First one is called Galactic Vision. Okay. The glorious gem fields of stars that pierce the sky with their brilliance across oceans of universal truth. I walk alone, facing the icy wind of autumn's mystery, while the voices of the ages sing to the sky, opening myself to endless futures that radiate out into the smoky realms of night, facing that void, the portal to the unknown, surrendering my fears to that moment of truth that shines as stars and nebulas. No more fear. Gazing at seas of lifetimes that climb the latticework of galaxies, spreading beyond the limits of mind's boundaries, to sapphire bridges uniting all beings in the crucible of life, beyond all limits, beyond all knowledge. And then the next one is called The Garnet Star. Look up, behold the garnet star, high up in starry heavens far, bright amber jewel that shines pristine. What ancient secrets have you seen? Over a distant desert void, its crumbling castles long destroyed, and ghostly armies passing by, naught could escape your piercing eye. Bold crimson star, we're far apart, but your deep gaze enchants my heart. So radiate your mystery that through the night calls out to me, and please impart, I do appeal, your mystic secrets to reveal. And then here's one inspired by the moon called Shiny Selene. And that was the name of the Greek goddess of the moon, was Selene. So this is something. That was Shiny Selene. Okay. Shiny Selene, your shiny mist, empress of the night sky, radiates down beyond the mind's eye, spins ancient tales in the wind to a sleeping world in our dreams within. Mandolin of the night, your streaming rays, unleash the winds in summer haze. Call me up through layers of dreams, sing me a song, Shiny Selene. Your dreamscape smile and depths I climb to the furthest heights of nighttime sky. Laughing ripples and silver seas float down from the sky, your mysteries. Okay. Now, I have a section of the book, Nature, the nature section. So the first one I'm going to read is called Flamingo Dawn. Shimmering light on dawn's lake, a rising sun of caramel gold. This flamingo lands silent in waves of motion, its smiles rising over flowing distances, blue heron gliding over silver waters, mirroring the lazy sky, sun disk exploding forth with golden rays, piercing the horizon in brilliance, flooding my eyes with liquid gold, this supernova of tropical fire, searching forward and dancing rainbows. Okay, another one about the dawn called Awaiting the Dawn. I sit in dark meadows awaiting the dawn, ringing Sasada symphony calling out to me. Silhouettes stirring in amber breeze, serenade the golden edge of dawn. Orange lights at meadow's edge flickering, branches like orchestral notes swirling to blossoming waves of emerald dawn that fill the windy horizon like a pale sea, sweet early dawn world, uncorrupted by the mind, an Eleusinian mystery. As misty meadows undulate in the breeze, pale ripples of cloudy lace, spawn from far ocean reaches, herald the coming dawn. The next one of the nature poems I selected was called Jasmine Sky. Jasmine Sky. Clouds of jasmine drifting under the golden haze of moonlight high above my house. drifting in from the ocean, fragrant paradise across the sky. The gods of night make their journey, their secrets hidden in the oblivion of dreams. Gliding neath the hazy firmament and guided by the moon's brilliant shine, sweet scent of jasmine filling the sky overhead and reaching the stars, a scene of misty solitude ruling the mind, reigning over our earth with a breeze ever flowing, scattering its perfume across the fields. Okay. Now, some of my poems reflect my fascination with the paranormal and old cemeteries. So this one was inspired by the visit to the Rock Ridge Cemetery in Sharon. It's called My Graveyard Musings. My Graveyard Musings. All right. This spectral world where few have tread, as summer days till autumn's pass, in somber shade reside the dead, the cooling winds their requiem mass. The names and dates of lifetimes past on these stone graves that climb the hill, and cold damp earth their bodies cast as long years pass and evenings chill. They calmly sleep in mottled shade and quiet plots bereft of joy, though deep within the ground they're laid, these chiseled words time can't destroy. As nighttime comes, I'm homeward bound, and slowly past the granite stones, I hear the night bird's haunting sound and cold winds' melancholy moans. Their silent ranks I'll join someday, invokes in me a nervous laugh, to think that some may pass this way and ponder my worn epitaph. And the next one is called Spirits of the Night. In swirling clouds of silver lace, the disk of lunar lies concealed. Across the autumn skies they race over this shadow realm surreal. On evening shadows now I gaze, a gentle wind swirls through the trees. From depths of sleep I watch half days, thin branches stirring in the breeze. Lights flickering neath mystic skies, through gaps in trees that shine within. Entrance my mind, I watch surprised the spectral beauty in the wind. In these dark shadows, spirits drift, translucent ghosts and dryads old. From this meadow I've sensed their gifts, strange stories from the wood untold. Oh, let me join thy sylvan fest, pale spirits of this solstice night. Before the moon sets in the west, we'll revel neath her misty light. Okay. Now the next one was, I had a vision walking by an old graveyard. And so I wrote a poem, and the poem is called Spectral Siren of the Night. Up on a hill I saw a light in bitter cold December gloom, on frozen roads of windy night, past avenues of graves and tombs. I carefully walked, stricken with dread, on rocky paths of ancient years, to byways of the lonely dead, where midst the trees they shed their tears. The winding hill, it took me high, toward Moose Hill's haunted mystery. I heard a woman's airy cry that like thin smoke flowed down to me. In misty dark I made my way and came upon a thorny ledge, on broken paths as clear as day, a stone house on a craggy ledge. She smiled at me beside her door with sparkling eyes and scarlet hair, a face that made my thighs roar, voluptuous beyond compare. She bade me then to come inside, and through the door I quickly raced. White candles glowed on every side as flames danced in her fireplace. This spectral siren of the night, right next to me, her body thrust, so mesmerizing with delight, it stirred those burning flames of lust. The fire in her eyes, it gleamed. We kissed, and then she gently spoke, but disappeared. 'Twas just a dream, and in my bedroom I awoke. Next morn I climbed that steep terrain and hope I'd find her by her door. A pile of rocks, all that remained of some old house from years before. A weathered gravestone stood nearby. I walked to it, and then I saw an epitaph from years gone by. Its worn words shook me to the core. In life, they called me Elizabeth, for years lived on that ledge above. Though turned to dust, conquered by death, my spirit lingers here for love. Okay. Now, I don't know what time we have, but I've got some more from the other book I'm planning to release sometime soon. And that book deals with poems. It deal more with like emotions and love, like deep emotions. So, oh, let me know if I'm running over. The first one is called Goddess of Eternal Night. Magic marble purple melting into the windy night. She stands in the distance on a hill, high above the plains of infinity, the goddess of eternal night, holding a torch of white fire, cold chill of the night through swaying branches, her flames beckoning all minds transfixed in this moment, across endless reaches of autumn darkness. The lunar glare pulsating in a chilly breeze as my weary mind sets sail for her kingdom, bathed in the splendor of her burning light. Okay. The next one is called Like the Spring Wind. Warm spring wind streaming past my veil in swirling crescendos, past the gray skies of barren winter sorrows, a refreshing breeze roaring past heaving branches in this new season's panorama. From the sparkling seas, new life emerging, with the clarion winds over swaying trees, this symphony resounding in victory over the bleak wasteland of winter's dominion. May new love like the spring wind glide and melt this winter's heart that reigns in my being. May her kiss forever free me from the bond of yesterday's prison. Like the sun warming the cold earth, and her touch like a breath of new life. Okay, this one is, these are about, I'm missing a friend. The first one is called Your Memory on the Road of Solitude. Distant lover, cast your mournful spell across the evening's cold. On this road I glide past shuttered homes. The glare of streetlights play across the shadows. I feel your embrace, though miles away you lie. Cross the unforgiving silence, pine branches like a tapestry above this road that goes nowhere. Across the vault of haunted sky that shines its stars through the branches, piercing me in desolation as I gaze upward. The scent of pine and smoke embracing me in my solitude, like your memory, guiding me back through the amethyst night. Okay. Another one about missing a friend. It's called A Vision on the Autumn Breeze. October winds, they came at last. Across the hills and ponds they passed, and strewed bright autumn leaves around, so wonderful their stirring sound. Relentlessly, they lured my mind down ancient paths that ever wind. So forthwith I sped through my door toward Massapog's lock's long sandy shore. Until the windy beach I came, as waters glowed with twilight's flame. I felt your love on me unfold as I gazed out on water's gold. So movingly our hearts were one, 'neath crimson rays of setting sun. Though far across the land you dwelt, eternal was the love I felt, that spun the mountains and the seas and rode the wild autumn breeze. Now autumn days to winter turn, this vision will in my heart burn. How much time do we have? A little more? Time do we have? A little more?
Sorry, yes, give yourself a little more. Let me just mute people. We've got some new people coming on, so give yourself a little bit more time.
Okay. This one is called The Sibyl of the Lake. At the gates of gloom by the shores of midnight waters, she waits, radiant beauty of ancient dreams, a delicate apparition of the misty night, the Sibyl of the Lake, watching through vaporous rings of haunted forest. She gazes across the waters at Damtine in the pearly glow of a ghostly moon, scanning the black expanse of astral forest. and the cloudy legions that gather above. Emblazoned across the starry night, her sibyl eye staring across these still waters to the Pleiades rising. That's the one like. Here's another one. Was inspired after looking up at the moon while driving home late at night, called In Purple Dreams. In purple dreams I glide over sultry evening roads, making my way homeward through night's crimson threshold. Starlit dreams are melting across the ancient seasons, sweet sense of royal night under cloudy swirling legions. My mind reflected in galaxies, mesmerized, spellbound, as the night wind gently flows with new supernatural sound. In shimmering shades of shadows in the wild jasmine breeze, lies a pastoral scene of starlight through mystic swaying trees. My journeys marked in colors and passages of love. I pair up through passing purple to a presence up above. Sweet woman of my dreams, gazing down from way up high, her lovely face reflected in windy heights of sky. Dear muse, your smile guides me to that home within my heart. To the night your sweet love finds me in evening starry arts. And one more, I'm done. Called Angel, and this was I took a walk at night, so inspired by the walk. Silver curtains of moonlight undulating slowly over glowing hillsides, bathing me in the radiance. My moonlight walk through darkened foliage passageways, opening to mountain vistas of eternity and of soaring angels, marble visaged in the silver glow of dancing mist, neath the full moon's glow. Crimson woman of my summer dreams in the guise of a smiling angel, her flowing hair in the swirling wind like fire, her touch soothing me like quenching waters. She leads me through smoky cloud realms on the burning rivers of her smile to distant meadows of summer's moon. And that's all. I read them all, read everything I wanted to read.
Thank you, Randy. Thank you so much. And all that's coming from the new book from Wilderness House?
That's well, the first ones were from In Garden of the Mind, but I have another one called An Alchemical Journey on the Road to Love. That's the stuff that's more has to do with the heart and love and emotion. So that should come out in the next month or two, I think.
Well, excellent. Hope you come back and let us know when they're out. We want to keep you on the open mic, sir. Another round of applause for him, sir, virtually, visually, however you'd like. And Garden of the Mind, we'll be putting a link up to that tomorrow. As a matter of fact, I might be able to grab a link to that right now. Let's see.
And I got the movie link too, the one where my poem appears in the Beyond the Lake. If they want to, it's a short 15-minute film.
Yes, I'll share that as well.
Right.
And let me see what we have here. Here we are. I know where it is. I have all my links. I'll say this I screwed up the damn link to tonight's feature, but I do still have my links to the books all set up. And Garden of the Mind, courtesy of Lulu, aka Wilderness House Press. I just put a link on there for anyone who's interested in reading more of these poems or promoting the book. Please do so. Randy, if you have any Venmo or Cash App.
No, I really don't have anything like that. No.
Okay, or even PayPal, but
Well, I've got PayPal.
well, let us know put your PayPal in the text and we'll go from there and we'll put that in tomorrow.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so, yeah, if you guys can donate a couple of bucks to Randy or get his book, please definitely do that. And on the subject of people who came in a little bit late, I want to get at least two people on to close out the night. James Van Looy, who usually is our penultimate closer, is, I believe, still overseas and in somewhere in Europe. And hopefully he'll be back sooner rather than later, but we do have some people who came in late. I do apologize for the mislabeling of the things. I just went, while I was talking with people tonight, I went through the other links, and it looks like all the other links are for the next 2 weeks are correct. So hopefully that will not happen again. I wish I knew how that happened, but at any rate, we appreciate the other two, everyone's patience in getting on tonight, and I'll bring the first of two people to close us out. Thanks once again to Randy. Let's welcome up first, Mr. Robert Fleming, who I know I have to get the share screen part on, and now it is. So you're up, sir.
Good evening. I'm Robert Fleming, visual poet from Delaware. And I'm going to share some graphic images which I prepared for a magazine submission called Moon Arising. And then I found out when I was getting ready to submit, they were not accepting art, just text pieces. So I will share these visuals with you. This first one is called The Moon White to Black to White. And I'm grateful for Manny Blacksher. I did an internship with him in the winter of this year through the Horror Writers Association, and he encouraged me to convert two graphic images into one to create this one. And this is the second series that I created for that magazine. My intention was to merge the image of the moon with a pizza. This is called Apollo 11 in 1969 discovers pizza dough craters on the moon. And this next one is called Mooned Crust Pizza Cures Howling. And this is called Pizza with Moon Peppers Cures or Causes Jealousy. And the last one is Pizza with Moon Shrooms is a Narcotic. So thank you for letting me share my visual images, which are trying to combine the moon with a pizza. Greetings from Delaware.
Thank you. And tomorrow afternoon, check out the Stone Soup Facebook page. There's going to be calls for submissions I'm posting from various journals. I already posted a link because it came out the day of Monday. So I posted then of a magazine called Mid-Level Management. The theme of their issue, their fourth issue, I believe, is dress code. It is interesting call for submissions. I might do something based on the whole fake controversy of the dress code in the Senate. But you can pick it, you can take it however you want. You can interpret it in a number of ways. And I found a couple other journals that are going to be accepting work. So I will be posting information on those as well, at least 2 or 3. I'm going to try and do 2 or 3 a week. That's the new goal. So stay tuned for that. And up next, the Generalissimo, bravo, Mr. Brian Franco can close us out.
Thank you. Yeah, I was actually just at a workshop, and so I'm going to read what I wrote in that workshop. It was run by Miss Diane Ward, who is an amazing poet from the Bronx. And she showed this picture of people on a bus in the Bronx, on a public bus. There's a young man around 21 sitting directly behind the bus driver. Directly behind him is a man in his late 60s that spends almost every afternoon riding the bus. He worries that the kid who looks smart enough will ruin his ability to properly communicate because of all his constant texting. 2 women who are possibly not yet 20 are talking loudly about the boys they have both dated, including facts like penis size. Suddenly, a bike messenger jumps the curb in front of the bus. The driver stops short. The phone flies to the side and hits one of the loud girls in her boob. She yells, "Boy, I own this phone now." In less than 18 months, the older man will write a New York Times bestseller titled What Happened on my residency on the Columbus Avenue line.
Bravo, Senor Franco. Very awesome. And thanks to everyone who participated tonight. Special thanks to Randy Barish. Sorry for the extra steps we had to take to get everything through. I guarantee you the rest of the year, I'm getting well ahead of the curve finally after about 8 or 9 months of not getting there. I actually have a few weeks of people ahead of us. Next week, we have Richard Spizak, who is celebrating the release of his new book, Stone Poetry. Catchy title, isn't it? So we'll be looking forward to that. And then to kick off October 4th, we have Mr. David R. Surratt, poet formerly lived in the South Shore area of Massachusetts, now is even more south in Cape Cod. But he was a teacher, a owner of horses, and jack of all trades, a jack of many trades. Oh, and Randy, your PayPal address is usually your email address, whatever you linked it to. So that should work. So you can send that to us. Sorry to interrupt, but sorry to trail off. But David R. Surratt is the author of numerous books. Probably the most traditional of like the poets that I know, just pulling off a book every 2 to 3 years without fail, a veritable workhorse. His last book was Easy to Keep, Hard to Keep In. And his current book of poetry, also from Moon Pie Press, is called Tonic. So in a lot of his poetry deals with, is very Massachusetts level, deals with growing up in Malden, deals with Massachusetts country life and what have you. And he's going to be a fascinating person. He's actually, out of all the South Shore friends I made when I started becoming a poet and reading out, he's read the most. You'll see at least a couple of clips of him online at Stone Soup Poetry, and he's been featured everywhere I can think of. And we're just a virtual stop on his tour, which is both online and live. So I'm glad we could be part of it. And up after that should be Nava the Butterfly, who is a popular slam poet, slam poetry host, member of the Society of Urban Poets, a group that's dissipated since then, but she still keeps in the spirit of that. She had a book out about a year or so ago, and she's agreed to feature. She's actually read on the open mic a couple of times over the years, and she's ready for an online performance now that her kid's grown up a little bit. So we're looking forward to that, and hopefully more people will be announced. And if there's anyone else who has suggestions, because Mr. Spizak was a suggestion of Jeff Taylor. So if anyone's looking for other selections, anybody has any other recommendations, throw them my way. And with that, I'm going to ask that we all do the wave goodbye, because we are good now. I don't want to have people keep on reading and torture them. I don't want to hold Randy's eyes open Clockwork Orange while he reads from his second and third upcoming books. So we are good to go. Thank you guys very much. And enjoy. All right, let's hold up and wave. Let's get a snapshot. There we go. And stop. Because if I just do this, it all looks all blurry and it looks really weird. Thank you guys so much. Have yourself an excellent evening. Can be like this every week. Well, hopefully not like exactly like this every week, but we can have great poetry every week. All we need is you. Thank you and good night. The show's over. See you next time.